Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most beloved and thought-provoking poems in American literature, The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Whether you're an English literature student or just a fan of poetry, this poem speaks to anyone who's ever faced a choice in life. And let me tell you, this isn't just about picking a path in the woods, it's about the choices that shape who we are. But before we jump into the poem itself, let's talk a little about the man behind these famous lines. Robert Frost was born in 1874 in San Francisco, but he spent much of his life in New England, where the natural landscape inspired much of his poetry. Known for his use of everyday language and rural settings, Frost won 4 Pulitzer Prizes for poetry. His work often explores themes of nature, individualism, and the human condition. And The Road Not Taken is one of his most iconic poems, published in 1916 in his collection Mountain Interval. Now, let's take a walk down the path of this poem and explore what makes it so timeless. Ready? Let's get started. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. All right, let's pause here. The poem begins with the speaker standing at a crossroads in a forest, confronted with 2 diverging roads. The yellow wood likely refers to autumn, a season of change, and the 2 paths symbolize the choices we face in life. The speaker feels regretful, wishing they could take both paths, but they can only choose one. It's that familiar feeling we all have when faced with a tough decision. What if we could just do both? Then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had warned them really about the same. Now the speaker chooses the second path, thinking it might be the better one because it seems less traveled. But, as the speaker admits, both roads were actually worn about the same. This is an important moment. It shows that the differences between our choices are often not as big as we imagine, but in the moment, we still feel like we're making a big decision. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. Here, the speaker observes that both paths are covered with fresh leaves, untouched by footsteps. The decision feels fresh, and the speaker decides to keep the first path for another time. But as they reflect, they know that once a path is chosen, it's unlikely they'll return to the other. This is where the poem starts to reflect life itself. We make decisions, sometimes with the hope that we can come back to the other road. But life moves forward, and we rarely have that luxury. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. And here's the famous conclusion. The speaker imagines telling this story in the future, looking back with a sigh, perhaps a sigh of relief, regret, or wonder. The final line, I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference, is often interpreted as a triumphant declaration. But here's the thing. Frost leaves it open to interpretation. The difference could be good or bad. It's the mystery of life's choices. Once we make them, we can never fully know how they would have turned out if we'd chosen differently. So let's break this down a bit. The poem is essentially about choices, the small, seemingly insignificant ones that can change the course of our lives. The speaker stands at a crossroads, a metaphor for the difficult decisions we all face. The 2 paths represent different options, and the speaker has to make a choice. But what's powerful here is that both paths are equal. There's no clear right or wrong choice. It's the act of choosing that defines us. Frost also plays with the idea of regret. The speaker acknowledges that they'll never know what would have happened if they had chosen the other path. That's something we can all relate to, right? The road not taken always seems like it could have been the better choice. Thanks for joining me today on this poetic journey. If you enjoyed this breakdown of The Road Not Taken, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more literary discussions. And hey, what's a choice you've made that changed your life? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories. Until next time, keep reading, keep reflecting, and keep walking your own path.